everyone, and welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we are introducing our brand new set party animal and its coordinating dies, and I can't wait to show you guys this set. It is so adorable. So let's go ahead and stamp it out. So the concept of this set is that we have these cute little animals like this deer and now the bear and the fox, and these animals can all hold different items. Of course, we have some cute little birds too. And so you'll see all of these little items that I'm stamping out, present, cake, ice cream, there's a fork and knife too, can be added to these cute animals to their little paws. So they are party animals, which is really, really fun. And I love that there's so many options for things that you can add to them, including their own party hats too. We also have a great balloon, a heart, which I love because then this set could be even for thank you and things like that. Then we've got this little burst of sound for those little horns, and then great confetti, tiny hearts and stars, and all sorts of fun things. And if you stamp those all around, you can make a really cool background. We have three great sentiments. We have let's party, make a wish, and of course, happy birthday. And then we have our exclamation point that you can add to the end of any of these phrases. And now I'll color these critters with my Copic markers. And so you can see here I'm doing some blending between two colors that are a little far apart. So I'm touching the lighter marker to the darker marker to help me blend those edges in. So you can see now it's blending a lot better. And then now I'm going to go ahead and add some even darker shades to the other parts of the deer and then blend it out into the white areas to keep that end of it looking really light. So now I'm going to go ahead and lay down my lighter marker just to keep the area nice and wet so that it's easy to blend the two together. Then I'll lay down the darker one and then blend the two together. And I love that with just two markers you can get a really great shaded look. So now I'm going to color in his little belly. And once again, I'm tapping that light marker to the darker marker just to get kind of a medium shade that I don't have a marker for. So I love that. And then of course now I've got to color his little antlers. And so I'm doing the same exact idea, just kind of blending it out with the light marker into the white parts up at the top of the antler. And now I'm going to do the same concept with the bear. So I'm going to go ahead and add these colors in just like before, and you'll see that I always leave a white area. And the reason I like to do that is because it kind of helps me make three shades out of two markers. So by leaving that area white, I make sure that I'm not going over with it too much with the marker, because once you kind of layer over the marker over and over again, it kind of changes the color to a little bit darker. So by leaving those areas white and only going over that area once, I can maintain this really nice light color, and it starts to look like there's a medium shade between the dark and the light. So here you can see I'm doing the same idea as I did with the deer. I'm just going ahead and putting that darker one down and then blending the light out into those white areas. And then I looked at him and I thought, you know what, he kind of needs a little something else. So after I kind of helped myself blend in those areas, I decided to add the even darker shade, the W5 shade, just to give him a little bit more life. And so I'm just kind of going where I think there would be shadows, like under his chin and around his arms. And you can see he's kind of becoming three-dimensional, which is really cool. And then I'm going to do the same concept at the top just so it kind of looks consistent so that he has some shading around his head too. And now I'm going to add some pink to his ears, but I thought the pink stood out just a little too much, so I'm going to take a really light gray marker and go over the pink to kind of blend it more into the rest of the bear. And now I'll be doing the same exact concept with the fox. Once again, I love that you can get so much shading with just the two markers. And there I'll just focus in a little bit more so you can see how I'm adding that dark marker over the light ones that I laid down just to kind of keep everything blending easily. And then I'm just going to blend those edges out into the areas that I left white on the fox. And by using two markers only, that means that you could also get quite a lot coloring done in a shorter amount of time. So you could get a ton of these critters ready to make lots of great birthday cards. And then now for his belly, I'm going to use the W0. And you'll see I went outside the lines a couple times because kind of always do that. And I'm using that marker just to blend that color in, and you can barely even tell that I went outside the lines. And then now I'm going to color their little bird friends, just really easy again, just adding a little bit of shading. And then you'll see I left some areas on their hats white, and I'm going over those with a white gel pen so that they really pop. So when I go over them, not only it gives it a little three-dimensional look, but I like that it makes the white really pop out from the markers. And now we have the coordinating dies, and you can just bend them apart at those little metal tabs to separate them all. And then they will be ready to go to line up with your stamped images. So you just line that die right up with the outside edge of your stamped image, and I'm using some post-it note tape to keep all of those dies in place. I'll run them through my die cut machine, and you'll see all of these great die cut shapes. And now this is the really fun part, and that's adding all of these fun little cakes and hearts and hats to the critters. It almost feels like paper dolls or something, like you get to kind of dress them up for the party, and I love that you can do all sorts of different combinations, which is so much fun. So you can kind of mix and match, change your colors around, and really create a cool look. I love putting the birds on top of their heads. I think that looks adorable. And then you can see how many fun looks like adding the balloon that you can do, etc., to really create a really fun card. Here I'm using some of the pint-sized patterns paper with the stars, and then I'm layering a little pink cardstock on top, and then some turquoise on top of that, just to kind of have a nice bright base for my fun little scene. Now here I'm going to use the grassy border die and die cut some grass here that's going to fit on my turquoise panel. One thing that I like to do is make my grass really tall to start with. That way, once I create my scene, if it's too tall, I can just cut a little sliver off and make it the perfect size. Now here we have our new puffy cloud borders. I love these dies, and I'm trying to decide which size of the clouds I like, and I decided on the largest one. And I'm using that same concept again where I made the clouds just a little too tall so I can decide once my scene's all put together how tall those clouds are really going to be. So here I'm starting to put together my little party scene, and I'm going to use some foam adhesive to add all of the little items that they're holding, and then just some regular old adhesive for their little party hats. And now I can start putting them on my scene. And so that grass was way too tall, so I trimmed it down, and now I'll be able to layer it onto my panel. And then I will be able to add all of my critters with more foam adhesive, because I think that just adds that little extra something special that really makes it a homemade card cool, is that nice dimension. So now that my critters are all ready for the party, I'm going to kind of guess here with just use a little pen there to mark where I'd like to trim my clouds down. And then you'll see how great that's looking. And I'm going to stamp my happy birthday sentiment using our black licorice ink, which I love. It's such a nice bold ink. It's perfect for sentiments. So now I can layer those clouds on and then just put the bear's hat back on because I had to move it out of the way to be able to layer the clouds. And now I have a finished adorable birthday card. One thing I wanted to show you is this other card, which is the same concept but a much simpler version. So I love that you can kind of go real crazy with it or real simple too. So this is Party Animal and its coordinating dies. I love this set so much. It is just so much fun. I can't wait to see what you guys create with it, what kind of cool fun scenes and how you add those fun little elements to the animals. I love that you can make more complicated cards or more simple cards with it. And once again, I just cannot wait to see what you guys do. So thank you so much for watching and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!